The world recently experienced a very unique phenomenon. After the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk, a memorial service was held. It was a short time window, 11 days from the day that he was assassinated to the day of the memorial service. So it was put together in a very quick fashion, but it was handled very well. And the main event was held in a huge arena, the State Farm Arena in Glendale, Arizona, Phoenix area. What makes that so profound and unique is not just Charlie Kirk. It's not just the putting together of that event, but what that says about our society. The name of Charlie Kirk's organization is Turning Point USA. That event represents what I think is a turning point in the American society. Why? Consider what Charlie was and what he did. He was a spokesperson for his faith, very strong Christian values, right? He was also a spokesperson for his country. He understood the Constitution. He understood American legal system. He understood a great deal about what made America what it is and how it's unique. He also understood economics. I mean, he was a brilliant young man. He was only 31 years old, and yet he was much more knowledgeable about many of those subjects than the vast majority of people in the United States. What was the big appeal? Well, Charlie Kirk, unlike those that just make big judgmental proclamations and make rants about political positions and other things, Charlie said, hey, I think I'm right. If you think I'm wrong, let's talk. Come prove me wrong. I mean, that was literally the theme of his tour as he went around to college campuses and universities and places like Oxford and confronted people face to face, one to one, in an open dialogue observed by many others, talking about the ideas that they disagreed on. He didn't stimulate violence. He didn't encourage anybody to get angry and scream. He didn't, there weren't signs all around blaming other people for being wrong. He didn't encourage anyone to confront the people they disagreed with in a violent manner or to shame them. He represented a peaceful, sensible, rational approach to talking about the things you disagree on. Wow. And man, he had them. I mean, there were Satanists, there were atheists, there were racists, there were fascists who called him a fascist. There were every stripe of person you can imagine coming to the microphone in front of him in a public forum on college and university campuses and saying, I don't believe in X and you're wrong for believing in it. And he'd say, okay, let's talk it through. And you can go on YouTube and watch hours and hours and hours of those, which I also have done recently, by the way. They are addictive. It's fun to watch because you can see the dialogue unfolding and you can see the logic behind it all. So what made that memorial event a societal turning point? This. Our society has gone through with the COVID lockdowns, with the whole woke and pride revolutions and all the Black Lives Matter, all those things that were going on during that era around COVID. We went through a shutdown as a nation, as a society, and started emerging from it in about 2022, certainly a lot more since then. But what we didn't realize on such a grand scale was how much pent-up concern there was. Now, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, there was a huge outcry and there was a huge public gathering to acknowledge and to thank him for his contribution to society, and rightly so. And it was a turning point in our country. We're at another one like that. This one's not racial. This one is rational. And it's spiritual. You know, whether you're Christian or not, this is a spiritual expression that's going on. Every political season, there is a huge undertaking that goes on nationwide at the community level, the state level, the regional level, and the national level. And it's gearing up for a big national election and lots of local elections. And there are precinct workers going around every community trying to enlist people to their cause. You're going to be a Democrat, or you're going to be a Republican, or an independent, or something. And we want you to come to our big convention. So they choose delegates, and they do fundraisers, and they send their delegates to the national convention. It's all over television. And the whole nation tunes in, and it's quite a show, right? Those events, by comparison, are less successful and less profound than the memorial for Charlie Kirk that was organized within 11 days after his passing. There were at least 100,000 people who gathered in Arizona for the live memorial service, and there were reported so far over 100 million who tuned in to the streaming of that event worldwide. What? With no community organizing, with no promotional campaigns, no, hey, buy your ticket now, they're going fast, no TV ads saying, hey, everybody come to Arizona. This was a spontaneous gathering of people from across the nation who canceled their other plans and went on a self-financed pilgrimage to Arizona to say thank you and goodbye to Charlie Kirk, but to make a public statement of support. I have many, many friends who were there, and we've talked about what it was like inside the event and outside the event. And some of them couldn't make it inside, and others were on the floor right down near the front. And they told me the amazing thing about this event was there were no loud demonstrations going on. There was no vandalism, there was no anger, there was no put down from the platform of other political parties or people of different views. Everybody there was talking about the life of Charlie Kirk and what it did for America. They were talking about faith, they were talking about family, about churches, and about the fabric of our society. See, America is built on a belief in a loving Creator. No matter which religion you choose, the collective belief in America has been, since the founding, that there is a creative source, and it's a loving source, not an angry one. And that caused a lot of our policies, our Constitution, our bylaws, our Bill of Rights to emerge as the natural byproduct of that point of view. But the thing that makes America unique is that America is based on the sovereignty of the person. It's the individual citizen that makes America what it is. And if that person has no freedom, then there is no America as we know it. So freedom is required. Well, freedom comes with responsibility. So how do you keep the society from being a chaotic mess? Family. Family and faith. Charlie Kirk was asked by his wife, Erica, if you get elected to high office someday and you can influence the entire nation, what would your priority be? He said, the revitalization of the American family. To get families to stay together, parents, people get married, have children, train your children in how they should think and look at the world, and then allow them the freedom to make their own choices from that point forward. Go to church, join a group of people that practice the same faith as you and support that and stay involved in that. What happens is that fosters a culture. And we did that for a couple of hundred years. And then we got kind of drunk on our own freedom and went crazy with it and did all kinds of unreasonable things for a while. And now we're coming back to that, realizing the importance of it. Now, it won't be like it used to be. We're not returning to the 1930s or whatever. We are returning to an emphasis on a solid set of beliefs in the goodness of life, a solid set of commitments to the family unit. And from there, we can grow the greatest nation the world has ever seen.